To be a professional boxer and listen to people like me and other commentators talk boxing when that is really, really your bread and butter must be very frustrating sometimes. And it seems like it was exceptionally frustrating for Shakur Stevenson, who just had a big back and forth, or at least took shots at, a big podcaster, former big name rapper, prodigy of Take That, Diddy, Mase, on the show that him and Killer Cam, one of my favorite rappers, Killer Cam, man, that dude can go, have a podcast, Tell It Like It Is. And they had some things to say about Canelo Alvarez's fight with Edgar Berlanga that made Shakur Stevenson look sideways at him, and the comments were hilarious. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. In this video, we're going to talk about some big name podcasters, some big name rappers, some boxing stars, some fights that we want to see, and a whole bunch of mumbo jumbo being spit out there that has to be frustrating to some boxers. Now, before I get into it, though, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, please accept my invitation to hit the subscribe button, hit the bell icon so you can be notified of when we release more videos. And if you're a longtime subscriber and supporter of the channel, thank you guys so much. It really makes a big difference to the channel. Thank you guys for allowing me to do what I enjoy. And also go over to MH Blackwell and subscribe to MH Blackwell because there is, believe it or not, an intellectual side to me. And I think that you will really enjoy some of the talks that we have over there. So go to MH Blackwell, go check out a video. I think you'll like it. Now, let's get into this because I have to tell you, man, I like Mase. I like Cam. I think Killer Cam. I think they're funny dudes. Obviously, very, very talented people in their own profession. Mase was a big name rap star. I think that was in the late 90s, early 2000s. Same with Cam, Killer Cam, early 2000s. Cam was one of my favorite rappers. I definitely like him. I was never really big that on Mase. Kind of seemed kind of bubblegummy to me, but with the show that they have, I do appreciate that they have a real love and appreciation for the sport of boxing, which I think you'd be surprised most black people do, or a lot of black people do. If you look at the statistics that were given out by Steven Espinoza of Showtime several years ago, man, maybe like back in 2018, he gave out the study that they had done, a survey of the demographic interest of blacks and Latinos and whites in boxing. And the number one group of people that were, as far as their interest, were clearly Latinos and blacks, where 50% of black people consider themselves to be sports fans. 50% of them of those sports fans consider themselves to be boxing fans, and 50% of those boxing fans consider themselves to be avid boxing fans. It's something that is ingrained in our culture, and that is something that will continue to be ingrained in our culture, for the rest of my life, easy, because it's something that we connect with at a very, very deep level, the sport of boxing. It's historic in the United States and in our culture. So to hear people talk about it and help it expand, I love hearing it. But Mase was saying some stuff that was, I don't know, man. It might be a little bit below the tolerance level of a professional boxer. And let me tell you what I mean. He spoke about two things. He talked about the energy of Edgar Berlanga against Canelo. And Shakur's response, I thought, was on point. Mase basically said that he thought that the energy that Berlanga had in the lead up into the fight, that he would carry that into the fight. But he didn't see that same energy when he fought Canelo. Shakur Stevenson's response was a reasonable one and an enlightened one, and one that is almost completely indisputable, which was that, look, man, it wasn't a matter of energy. His energy was the same thing. He was just in there against one of the best fighters in the world, an all-time great fighter. At a certain point in time, man, you get into a ring with a guy like Canelo, man, you just got to accept that, hey, man, you may take the L. You can be an extremely, extremely good fighter, but you still lose to him because that's the level of fighter that he is. It's very similar to you can be the fastest dude in the entire country of the United States of America. Every football player, you can be faster. Every football player, basketball player, track athlete, doesn't matter. You get in there with Usain Bolt, a prime Usain Bolt, you're going to lose. Doesn't matter how good you are. Doesn't matter your attitude. Doesn't matter if you pump yourself up. At a certain point in time, you're just facing somebody that's better than you. And you do what you can do. And a fighter like Edgar Berlanga should be complimented for that because he didn't punk out. He went for it. He did everything that he said he was going to do. He tried to do everything that he said he was going to do. And I take my hats off to him. Now, I will say that there's a portion of what Mase said that I 100% agree about. And that is them whack ass shoes these dudes be wearing. Now, Mase hit some stuff on the head in this. He really did when he said, look, man, stop trying to be pretty. Don't try to be pretty. Try to be effective. Right? And he's talking about the shoes. Obviously, Devin Haney had a pair of those shoes looking like Uggs. And my understanding is, or at least this is what Mase is saying, is that Berlanga had the same Ugg type shoes on. And it's like, man, but dude, let me tell you, dude, shoes or no shoes. He's going to get whooped like that. He's going to get whooped. He's just not as good. Shoes or no shoes. Devin Haney was going to get clocked with that left hook because he didn't slip it. I don't think it was the shoes, but still, I love the point. I think when I hear him say that, though, I think about guys like Ben Whitaker over there in the UK, the former Olympian, one of the, up and coming light heavyweights in the world, Ben Whitaker, who was very well known for his antics in the ring, spinning around in circles, patting people on their heads. Just that right there is a case of, dude, stop trying to be cute. Win the fight. Just get it done. Before you get caught being cute, and you get caught being cute, you ain't gonna like that too much. So what Mase is saying is, hey, man, Berlanga got caught being cute. Devin got caught being cute. And I do think to a certain extent, that Devin's ego probably did go to his head in that particular instance. I don't blame it on the shoes. Berlanga, though, there's nothing Berlanga could do. I don't believe that there really practically is anything that Edgar Berlanga could have done to win that fight with Canelo. Canelo was just levels above him. Canelo would just walk out. Canelo would just see combinations going, see what a certain set was doing, and say, all right, let me just back up. Let me click, reset that. Let me go right back at it. You could just tell that whenever Berlanga thought he knew a game plan, Canelo would just back up, switch it up, and go right back at him. I think that Berlanga needs to be credited for what he did. He's a better fighter than I thought he was, and I think he probably learned a lot in that fight. But all in all, man, I got to tell you, I really do love when Cam and Mase talk boxing. I think it's great for the sport. Same thing with Wallow and Gilly the Kid on $1 Million Worth of Game podcast. I think this stuff is really, really great for boxing. I think of the guys that speak boxing, though, from what I see, Gilly the Kid is probably the guy that has the most, is the most solid in the sport, really understands it the most and has, and is really kind of the best at talking about it. But still, just excellent for the sport of boxing and really good for Black American sport. Really good for Black Americans in the sport of boxing. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Deuces.